Steve McGarrett, the whole crew. We're filming from Hawaii. It's expensive. It's Hawaii 5-0. What a great show. Still to this day. Dude, the 5-0's coming. There's the heat. There's the 5-0. Hawaii 5-0. I liked Hawaii 5-0. I thought it was a pretty good show. I was just a tot when that thing was going, but it was action-packed. It seemed to always have a good plot. Plus, Kim Fong is Don Ho. I mean, can't believe the acting in that program. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. I love wide open Wednesday. Not because it's hump day, UFM disc jockey types. I like wide open Wednesday because it's wide open Wednesday. You're the show producer, whatever you'd like to discuss. That's pretty much the rules Monday through Friday. Not going to cut you off if you want to discuss something that's not on the old show sheet, on the show, agenda that day. But on Wednesday, we give you a little extra room, a little carte blanche, and let you really go at it. Something that's vitally important to you that you think is being overlooked, not being discussed enough, maybe not at all. Wide open Wednesday, you're the show producer. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, the Heat Magnet. Fielding your phone calls, running the controls. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. On a day like this, even Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, the Heat Magnet. Not too hard to be the Heat Magnet. You can wear black today. Sun can soak it up, and I don't think you're going to be that hot. We might be at 70 degrees right now. Feels like high 60s, super low humidity. It's just mucho niso. El outsido. It really is. It's really nice. That was for our Spanish audience, by the way. No, it is super nice weather. I highly recommend getting out there and enjoying it. It's like, it's almost like I'll give you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate if you can email me a photo of a cloud right now in the sky. Yeah, Corey, I'm right in Lafourche. Has a Lafourche Bridge. Has my watch with the time code. Maybe even holding up today's newspaper. And there's a cloud floating by. I'm serious. I might, you email me, Corey at CoreyTalks.com, a cloud photo right now, happening right now. Put your watch in the photo or something. Give me a time stamp. And I'll give you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate because I don't think there's a cloud out there. Corey, I was by a dude at the stoplight. He had a crack in his window. He's vaping from one of them big boxes. He exhaled. I happened to be right there. It was a cloud over me, dude. All right, I hear you. 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse is yours. Jimmy in Chalmette. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, tomorrow, District Attorney Jason Williams will once again join us on the program. That's tomorrow, Thursday. Like I said, it's wide open Wednesday. You're the show producer. 766-9480. Got some good Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate trivia questions. First, a holdover or two. Who was Lucille Bridges? We were talking about Bridges. Who was Lucille Bridges? No one knows the answer to that one. Interesting. I got a question today. Known as the Queen of Gospel. She was known as the Queen of Gospel. If you have an answer, excellent, because I've got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Hey, by the way, no internet device, no Google, no Yahoo, no DuckDuckGo or Bing. We're not interested in that. You know the answer in your head. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. Boy, a lot going on. CAO, City of New Orleans, Gilbert Montano, the mayor's number 2, Mr. Spock, to LaToya the Destroyer as Captain Kirk or Jean-Luc Picard. Hey, dude, keep going. Anyway, the mayor's office claims they plan on kind of bringing all that past due money, the $29,000. They're working out some kind of payment plan to pay all that back. And Montano says, quote, she has started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts, end quote. That quote sort of scares me a little bit, the dollar amounts part. Like, she started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own money. How about she just started to pay for any upgrades thereafter herself, period. But with her own dollar amounts, ticket, $100. Upgrade, $10,000. LaToya Cantrell's dollar amount, $150. I mean, you can't just have that arbitrary quote like that. I'm assuming Gilbert Montano, and that's a stretch with the mayor in this administration, but Gilbert Montano seems to be a straight shooter. Seriously. She has started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. So I guess that means that 2-day Amsterdam trip where she flew first class, where I was wondering who was the gentleman sitting next to her. Just that's all I wanted to know. With her on that trip, not with her. I'm not talking about personally. I don't care if that's husband, boyfriend, brother, secure. I don't care who it is. I'm not interested in the personal part. Could be your husband, could be your brother. It doesn't matter to me. Family member, irrelevant to me. Doesn't matter. I'm just wondering, is that guy part of the entourage? They seem to be together. And who paid for that ticket? Is he a city employee? That's all I want to know. Is not the mayor doesn't know him. His name's Freddie McGuire. We don't even know his name. It might be from Cleveland. Whatever. Just it seemed like the person the mayor was sitting next to first class for the Amsterdam trip was with the mayor. Just curious who's the unknown gentleman sitting next to her. And I'm not interested in the personal stuff. Strictly, is it a city employee? I don't need to know name or anything personal. City employee or not, on the city's dime or not. If so, why? Who is it and why if the city's paying for it? Let's go to the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines. A lot to discuss. A woman pulled from her small SUV in Algiers. Another carjacking. Guy with a gun. Just pathetic. Hey, was thinking last week, we were talking about how the blues originated in New Orleans and not the Mississippi Delta. Pretty much every major modern music genre was either created here fully or New Orleans was greatly influencing that genre, huh? Every one. I mean, it's the music city of the world. We'll talk about that as the show progresses. Let's hit the phone lines in the meantime on a Wednesday. Holy smokes, the Pels knock off Dallas without 3 starters. The Pels knock off Dallas without 3 starters. And 8 Pelicans are in double figures last night, including Trey Murphy was 8 for 8, I believe. Absolutely unbelievable. Willie Green and the Pels. I said they go deep. They have a good bench. The posse's going to have to come off the bench and win it. CJ McCollum had a bad game. Was fairly ineffective shooting. Every single other person on the Pelicans roster, 90% of them backups, more than made up for it. It's insane. The Pels are really, really good. Not one starter out, not one all-star starter out, but a couple of others. One's a potential all-star starter. Just crazy. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. Got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Who was Lucille Bridges? That's a holdover. We were talking about the Causeway, the Crescent City connection. Who was Lucille Bridges? And known as the Queen of Gospel. 766-9480 on the radio, on TV, on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, no cool socks. NolaAC.com, no cool socks.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. I'm playing the space bass. Look at that. I got this expression because I'm really getting into it. That's the space bass. You got the hand like this, and then you got this the guitar, and trumpets this, and here's the saxophone. Thumb in mouth, and then other thumb on elbow, like the saxophone. Those are the only instruments that I can airplay, which means I could probably be a musician to a lot of you youngsters out there if I could just come up with some kind of gimmick. Maybe flip myself upside down and put my clothes on backwards or something like that. Yeah, you're right. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday, calling the act upside down. Hey, tomorrow, DA Jason Williams joins us on the program. Who was Lucille Bridges? We were talking about bridges, some trivia questions the other day. Causeway, Crescent City Connection, Bridge in the Gap, the Harvey Tunnel, the Bell Chase Tunnel. Lots of infrastructure projects in Metro New Orleans in the mid to late 50s when the city was booming. I mean, they connected the island of New Orleans to the North Shore and to the West Bank, and then connected Harvey to, West Bank proper and Bell Chase to West Bank proper. Pretty impressive. All in the mid to late 50s, mega projects, because New Orleans was booming back then. Anyway, we were discussing those bridges and projects. Who was Lucille Bridges? Who was Lucille Bridges? That should be like required New Orleans, learning, sort of information that every New Orleans public school, private school would be teaching to the kids. Anyway. She's known as the Queen of Gospel. She's known as the Queen of Gospel. You got an answer? I got a $50, not $10, not 10% off, 50 big bucks. $50 at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 4 area locations. The flagships on Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City. Right there in Mid-City, convenient for a lot of folks. They're in Metairie by North Kenner. Transcontinental at West Esplanade. They're on the North Shore, I-10 at Gauze and Slidell. They're by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. And coming soon, a 5th area location, Mandeville, Cheyenne Country. Yeah, you right. By the way, nola.woodhousespas.com. That's the website. You can check it out. nola.woodhousespas.com. Known as the Queen of Gospel. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program, 766-9480. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Love to hear from you today. A lot going on, by the way. Gilbert Montano, the mayor's CAO, says the mayor's office claiming there's a plan being worked out where the mayor's going to pay back for these upgrades. I think that's true. I think that will happen. I think the mayor's trying to figure it out, like a donation, campaign funds, anything but out of her own wallet. I think there's no way it's coming out of her own wallet. I think that is impossible, not happening. No way. She would not have it. She's pulling a Walter Reed or a John Alario and using campaign funds for personal expenses and justifying it. Like when she ran up that city credit card when she was on the city council, used that as like a personal line of credit, literally. Totally unethical and immoral. Not what it's for. She can try to justify and act like it's all right and so did it or bend the rules. She knows it's not right. She knows it's not right. And she did it. And then use campaign funds to pay it back only when she was like up against the wall, when she was kind of busted. Same thing here. Those upgrades were going to stick. The junkets, the trips were going to continue. No, and they're going to continue. The mayor's been quiet lately. I wouldn't doubt tomorrow if there's a press release the day after, the mayor's on the way to Tokyo for the climate exchange, for the Japanese Americas convention, the winds blowing out of the north today convention, the I like spaghetti and meatballs convention, whatever. And she might be speaking there. I mean, LaToya Cantrell, mayor of New Orleans, climate change, worldwide event, she's speaking. Are you like, yeah, it's a quarterback challenge, and we got Drew Brees in his prime doing it. The golf carts are rolling around with the tire. You got to throw feel real confident Brees is going to, you feel like that kind of confidence? Got Mayor LaToya Cantrell representing New Orleans, going to talk about climate change? What more does she know than Ronnie or Jimmy or Dave or Bill or Brenda or Mary or Joni in Kenner, West Bank, New Orleans, East Uptown, you, me, anybody? Seriously. That's the whole thing. She hasn't studied it more than anyone else. I mean, there are people that study it that know a whole lot more, obviously. It isn't like a hobby where she Googles it. And boy, you one thing you can tell about LaToya Cantrell, may not be the best mayor, but she knows about climate change and all that. None of that. She's going to be a speaker, so she did it by Zoom or, the way you should be doing it. Anyway, the mayor's been quiet lately, which is the smart thing to do because NoLatoya.org gets a little hushed. I've been talking about this. Folks have been like, Corey, don't talk about that. The mayor might, get clued into that and be quiet. And I said, the mayor hears me saying it. She doubles down. She can't help herself. Hears me saying it that she'll double down. She doubles down on the double down. I mean, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Cannot help herself. So, no, it's been quiet lately, which means the Enola Gay has probably left Louis Armstrong International Airport. It's about to open the bomb bay doors and drop an atom bomb somewhere. The mayor's on the way to Tokyo. The mayor's on the way to Australia. The mayor's on the way to South Africa. The mayor's on the way to Europe. Anywhere, somewhere, it's coming soon. Gotta be. It's Junket Cantrell. A woman pulled from her small SUV in Algiers, a carjacking. The video's on most of the major networks. It's on my Twitter. I think I used 6 or 4 or 8, one of them. Just retweeted their video. It's not mine. I'm giving them credit. At Corey Talks is my Twitter. Well, excuse me, at Corey Johnson is my Twitter. At Corey Johnson. And the video just shows this woman walking out of a gate. Obviously there's a camera like on somebody's garage looking down like sort of an alley type thing. Coming out of like the gate by the garage and walking over to her SUV and getting in it and starting it up. And then this guy pops up that I don't know was hiding, just kind of came out of nowhere out of the kind of top right corner of the video. She's U-turning around and drives, and I guess he starts walking up to the vehicle, and she must stop, and her doors aren't locked, and he opens the door, and I think he has a gun, and he starts to tug on her, and she doesn't try to accelerate or drive away, I guess. I mean, I think he has a gun, and she gets out, then she opens the door and starts pulling on him, and then he just drives off, and that's the end of the video. It's just very discouraging, disgusting, sickening. Women and children and, the elderly kind of were like off limits for criminals. There's like a code. You go to jail for that kind of stuff. You're going to get abused by some prisoners. Not anymore. Pulls this woman from SUV and just carjacks her. That's why you had not the owner of a vehicle last week, a witness who chased somebody trying to break into a car and shot him in the leg. And police want to find the vigilante like Charles Bronson in Death Wish. Fired a bunch of rounds at the guy running, just happened to catch him in the leg. Here's a crazy one for you. Ron Smith of Florida, a lawyer, his girlfriend on the motorcycle as well. Ron Smith, a lawyer who has successfully battled Florida's helmet laws, died in a motorcycle wreck while not wearing a helmet. Him and the girlfriend killed. Head trauma was the cause of death. A lot of folks saying like Ron Smith didn't like being told what to do, but was a great person to go to for advice, great attorney, all this kind of stuff. Only 62 years old. The motorcycle helmet law is an interesting concept. I get it. The problem is, first off, it's America, so we're going to pay to fix you. You can be an illegal alien. You can be on vacation from France. You can be John Doe, The unknown motorcycle guy banged his head. He's unconscious. We are going to pay for it and fix you. That's for starters. Second, it's like, I don't know, can you ride any vehicle that's built by mankind on the road and on the highway and there are never any additions to the restrictions applied to that vehicle? I mean, a helmet seems like more than a reasonable thing because insurance rates, hospitalization, people, getting hurt that have a head injury, that's costly. Physical therapy, the whole rehab could be years, could be lifetime, could be life-altering. It's a lot more to it than just, hey, I don't want to be told what to do, and it's my motorcycle. I should be able to ride it without a helmet. It's not. That sounds great, but it's America. It's capitalism. There's money involved. There's hospitals. There's how we are. We're going to fix you. There's insurance. There's a lot of things involved besides I don't like wearing a helmet. I want to ride. But it's ironical. Ron Smith of Florida, a lawyer who successfully battled Florida's helmet laws, died in a motorcycle wreck while not wearing a helmet. Crazy. Hey, who is the queen of gospel? 766-9480. You got answers? I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River cities, Total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. What a great weather day. Broken record about 5 weeks straight. I like this broken record. Tomorrow a repeat. Wake up in the morning, it might be like 57, 58. Then slowly trickles up to maybe what we got right now, about 70 degrees. Super low humidity. You got to love that. Just feels great outside, and there's not a cloud to be seen in the sky. Tomorrow, repeat, rinse and repeat. Gotta like that. No, it's San Diego weather. Less rain right now the last 5 weeks in New Orleans than what San Diego averages. Less rain. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. You're the show producer on Wide Open Wednesday. Love to hear from you on a topic that isn't being discussed enough. Maybe one that isn't being discussed at all that's important to you. Maybe one of our topics. Hey, by the way, I've got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. I'm going to answer this by the end of today's show. Kind of shocked. We were talking about different bridges, the Causeway, the Crescent City connection. Who was Lucille Bridges? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Hey, no internet device, no search engines, no Google or DuckDuckGo or Bing or Yahoo, none of that. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Who's known as the Queen of Gospel? The Queen of Gospel. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks is yours. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa, any of the 4 area Woodhouse Day Spas. Coming online very soon, a 5th location, the Mandeville Woodhouse. Find out more, nola.woodhousespas.com. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480. How about the Pelicans knocking off Dallas last night? Without 3 starters, no Zion Williamson, no Brandon Ingram. I mean, I don't know how the Pels pulled this gimmick off. No Herb Jones. And then playing obviously a bunch of backups. And there are 8 Pelicans, 8 that score in double figures last night. 8? I don't know. That's just mind-blowing. Willie Green is doing a fabulous job. And the Pels just stepping up and deep and like a posse, a whole other team can come out and play. Pretty impressive. Andy Dalton to start Sunday, as he should be for the Saints. Jameis Winston fully healthy. But Andy Dalton's going to continue to start because Andy Dalton's playing pretty good at quarterback. Andy Dalton's not the problem. Corey, 2 pick sixes. Andy Dalton is not the problem. Andy Dalton's part of the solution. He's playing pretty good football. Fixed the screw-ups. There are a few screw-ups, but there's a lot of really good stuff that Andy Dalton's doing. Focus in on that, eliminate the screw-ups, and then get some players back healthy, like at corner and wide receiver. You know, the, quote, skill player positions. And it's a whole different ballgame. The next 3 weeks are it. Got to beat the Raiders. Got to beat the Vegas Raiders. They're not very good right now. It starts there. First game, like one shot at a time in golf. Can't think about the score like I do and have a mental breakdown on the backside because I had a good front. Or, oh gosh, I could shoot 77 if I par the last two holes. Shank it in the water. No, just take care of it. One shot at a time, Raiders. But here is the good news. A few shots ahead. It's Baltimore, and they're struggling this year, 500-ish. And it's Pittsburgh, and they're below 500. Saints can beat anybody. The teams that beat the Saints, none of them are, boy, that team's just better than the Saints. Saints shot themselves in the foot. Saints hurt themselves. Let's go to the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Wendell joins us in New Orleans. What up, Wendell?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Glad you called. What's on your mind?
I'm calling to answer the Queen of Gospel question.
Who is known as the Queen of Gospel?
Who is known as the Queen of Gospel, the incomparable? No one could compare to her. The Mahalia Jackson.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Couldn't say it better myself. Excellent work, Wendell. Yep. New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson.
Yes.
Yep.
And she lays in peace right out there on the airline.
Yeah, I think that's right. Garden of Memories out there on airline. That's where she is.
Correct.
Good. Glad she's home. Good job, Wendell. Anything else on your mind?
No, sir.
All right. Hang on. All right. Don't go anywhere. That's Wendell in New Orleans hanging on because Jason, a.k.a. the Raging Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, the Heat Magnet, taking a little info from Wendell. We're going to tighten him up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Good job. Yeah, known as the Queen of Gospel, Mahalia Jackson. By the way, it's Mahalia Jackson's birthday. Born on this day in 1911. And I believe that would make her 111, right? Hey, which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born in? Where was she raised? Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson raised in? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Known as the Queen of Gospel. Wendell got that one. New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Give me the answer to that. I got $50 for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Hey, I got another good question for you. And no Google, no Yahoo, no DuckDuckGo, no Bing, no search engines, no internet device. How did Mahalia Jackson influence Dr. Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech? How did Mahalia Jackson influence Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech? Yeah, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. How did she influence that speech? Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines 766-9480. Mahalia Jackson, one of New Orleans' best and brightest. Doesn't get much better than that. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, Andy Dalton to start Sunday, as he should. As he should. And if Andy Dalton keeps playing steady and eliminates the mistakes, he can ride Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton struggles for a game or so, or Andy Dalton's having a horrible game, and it's obviously you pull him. You put Jameis Winston, and then maybe you ride Jameis Winston. They're kind of frick and frack. Jameis Winston has an unknown upside, I guess. There's a hope that he might be able to take it to another level and be an NFL starting quarterback full time. Andy Dalton is on the tail end, the end of his career as a quarterback, but can still play at a really high level. I'll tell you what, I'm the bottom third NFL teams. I'll take Andy Dalton as my quarterback. There are at least, some folks want to say there's like 5 quarterbacks that are worse than Andy Dalton starting in the NFL. There's about 10 or 12 starting NFL quarterbacks that you'd rather have Andy Dalton starting. Now, some of those might be 23, 24. They're trying to see if they have a chance of being an NFL quarterback. I get it. So you go with that, but that doesn't mean that quarterback's better than Andy Dalton or you're going to win better with Andy Dalton today. No, Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston are about the same level. I'd put them seriously. If I'm rating all NFL quarterbacks that play the game today, all starters, and then whatever backups qualify to be on the list, Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton would be around, 17 to 22, something like that. There's at least 10 NFL starters, at least 10 that are worse than Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. Now, Andy Dalton, even with the 2 pick sixes, isn't the problem. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Boy, talk about what hiring an amazing coach does for a program. Seriously. It's the right coach, the right fit, a total winner, a proven winner, and the system just seems to work wherever it is applied. I mean, from nowhere to a top 15 program and just growing and getting better, and doesn't even have any recruiting classes really in play too much, just like 1.5, you could say. I mean, in a year or two, it's going to be a top 5 program probably all the time, and just turned it around quick and overnight. Talk about the LSU women's basketball program. Just amazing what Kim Mulkey's done up there. USA Today has their women's preseason poll out. South Carolina is number 1. That team's just the new Tennessee or UConn. Tennessee's 4th, UConn 6th. LSU 14.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region. with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30. And they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, you right. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480 is how you join us on the program. 766-9480. I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Who was Lucille Bridges? I'll give you that answer before the program's over today, because that trivia question's been out there a few days, and I'm kind of shocked that it is still out there. That sort of should be required learning for every New Orleanian. Who was Lucille Bridges? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. If you have the answer to that, I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. No internet device, no search engines. You either know the answer in your head or no go. Known as the Queen of Gospel, Wendell got that answer, Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Yeah, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. Another one of our best and brightest, known around the world. Amazing. And she was black, born in 1911, and still made it known around the world. In spite of, oppression and segregation and how New Orleans was back then. That's why folks like Mahalia Jackson, Louis Armstrong left New Orleans and basically never came back, just to visit kind of thing. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Let me tell you this. I'm going to give you a hint about Lucille Bridges. A real hero. The real risk taker. The real hero. I'm not trying to take anything away from someone else that maybe gets all the recognition. And this is, how do you say that? It's not like the other person doesn't deserve the recognition. The other person deserves the recognition. The other person was oblivious to what they were doing. Oblivious to what they were doing. Could not understand or conceive what they were doing. But Lucille knew what she was doing, and she was the real risk taker and hero and should be honored, and every New Orleanian should know. That's enough of a hint, huh? TR up on the North Shore. He knew the answer. By the way, you can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Known as the Queen of Gospel, Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born in? Born and raised. Hey, tonight, how about a little Italian and Sicilian at Fausto's? They open in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. Italian and Sicilian, some of the best in New Orleans. Easy, convenient, great staff, park right in front, dine outside with this ridiculous weather. Outdoor dining, are you kidding me? It's 70 degrees. Fausto's Italian Bistro and Vets opens in 5 minutes. Dave is in Metairie, probably not too far from Fausto's. Dave, have you been to Fausto's on Vets?
Oh, yeah, many times.
What do you think?
Oh, some of the best Italian you'll ever get.
I'm not lying or exaggerating at all?
Oh, God, no.
Anything I'm saying at all incorrect? Am I embellishing, exaggerating? It's not easy to get to. It's the parking's hard. The staff's terrible. You can't eat outside. Anything I'm saying not true?
It is difficult to park, but it's worth finding a spot.
It is difficult to park. I guess maybe at night sometimes the parking lot in front could fill up, and then you can park at night next door. During the day, I guess if I ever had to park besides the parking lot during the day, maybe down the street 1 out of 30 times I've gone, maybe. Usually I find a spot. But no, you're right. I think the parking's pretty convenient. That's a legitimate critique. What else is on your mind?
I want to give a shot to your question. I'm thinking that Lucille Bridges is Ruby Bridges' mother.
26-year-old Lucille Bridges, 26, let her 6-year-old daughter go to what? William Franz Elementary?
Yep.
62 years ago next month, I believe. Yeah, Dave. Lucille Bridges, not taking anything away from Ruby. She was 6, had no idea what was going on. Lucille?
That was the giveaway, yes, because she was too young and other than the fact that she had to be escorted by the police, to get into the building.
She thought something was going on different that day, but she didn't know she was the only one, and actually wasn't. You had Prevost and ATN and the trio across town integrating another school, three black girls that were 6 years old.
She didn't know that she was making history.
Exactly. Her mother probably did, though. Lucille Bridges knew some white lunatic could kill her daughter. Her
mother probably was told by many people, you must be crazy to do what you're doing.
Are you kidding me? 26 years old? She's a young mother. It's like some were probably saying you're not old enough to make the decision. You're putting your daughter at risk, on and on and on. She was probably like, I'm the mother. I'm 26. I can make the own decision. Yeah, and on and on and on. All kind of people, black, white, were probably saying she was crazy. No, a risk. The real hero is Lucille Bridges. It's amazing.
What I'd like to know is, the first day that they brought her to the school was historic and everything. I want to know what happened the next day.
Oh, all the white kids abandoned the school. Slowly but surely over the next few weeks, there was just like Lucille Bridges and a couple other white kids and embarrassed staff and teachers. Some teachers left. No, you read some of this
crazy time.
Yeah, you read some of this MLK stuff. Like one day, black people will be able to, have a fair chance of getting a job and a loan and have a house. And one day, black and white kids will play together and swim together. I'm just like, geez, Pete's, man. What's wrong with white people back then? It's mind blowing. Hey, Dave in Metairie, excellent work. Blue Boy is even congratulating you. Hang on. Going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. 5 o'clock power hour is next. Corey Johnson with you on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Incredible weather day. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Portnola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence.
Yep, divorce.
That request came from his wife.
You're out of here, dude.
Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her.
That's bad thinking.
With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison.
More bad thinking.
Several years earlier, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return.
Problems living together.
Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
Not at all. I think you can just stop it. Two grown men sharing an apartment. It's just not happening. Yeah, you right, Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program, the 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. I love Wide Open Wednesday. I've got my show sheet chock full of information and topics. We'll be hitting them. Just like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But on Wide Open Wednesday, a little extra carte blanche. You're the show producer. Whatever you'd like to discuss. Maybe something that's being neglected by the mainstream media, talk radio, internet device. Not being discussed enough, not being discussed at all. You think it's important. You're the show producer. Fire away with your topic or topics. Rouse's Markets phone lines. That's the phone number you dial on your phone. Landline, cellular device. Does anyone sell a landline? Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program. 766-9480. If you're outside of Metro New Orleans, the area code, of course, is 504. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Hey, still have a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. At least one was asking, known as the Queen of Gospel. Who was that? Wendell got it correctly, answered it correctly. Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood, New Orleans native Mahalia Jackson, which New Orleans neighborhood was she born and raised in? Till she was 16 and moved to Chicago to start performing professionally, getting paid at 16 to sing. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours. Hey, no intranet device, no search engines. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. How did New Orleans own Mahalia Jackson influence Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech? How did Mahalia Jackson influence that speech? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. A slew of topics on this Wednesday. You know, I've been talking to last few days, mentioned the parks we have in New Orleans, urban park, city park, Audubon Park, just world class, suburban park, Lafayette Park, just really great parks. Put them up against any park in any city. And then yesterday, talking about the great neighborhoods in New Orleans, have so many great neighborhoods, dozens and dozens. Last week, we talked about, you know, experts are now saying, you know, the blues were originated in New Orleans, not the Mississippi Delta. I've always thought that. The blues did not originate in the Mississippi Delta just because of not enough population in the Mississippi Delta for something like that to be created. And, you know, the stories are very, I'm not saying they're not possible. I mean, you go backwards on how the earth is here and it seems like an impossibility. So anything's possible. But when you talk about New Orleans at the same time period and the Mississippi Delta, it seems like maybe it's a flip-flop, a reversal of that. New Orleans is the main mover, the main influence. And I'm not taking anything away from Chicago or Memphis or the Mississippi Delta, which I think is tremendous cradle of music. The Mississippi sign with the music reference is valid. Mississippi is one of the great, you know, music places in the world. But the blues started in New Orleans. Every major modern music genre either was created in New Orleans or greatly influenced by New Orleans. There's like none that get out of that. Every single one. I mean, the music city of mankind, human history, is New Orleans, Louisiana. We're ground zero for it. It's pretty amazing. It really is. So much talent. So much musical talent, artistic talent in this town. It's mind-blowing, generational, and it doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going. I mean, the Neville family, Marsalis, Batiste, it's how many generations? And not like, they can kind of play. They're champs. They're the best at it. World class. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. You could be watching the program right now at Katie's. The program is often on the tube at Katie's. As New Orleans as it gets, Katie's in Mid-City. Iberville, corner Talamacas, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. You folks out in Elmwood, Harahan, River Ridge, Old Jefferson, Bienvenue on that curve on Hickory Avenue. Bienvenue is the Katie's of Harahan. Yeah, you should be at Katie's in Mid-City, the after-work place. Great wind-down place. And really, that's the secondary thing. It's a lunch and dinner place. That's what they primarily do. Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Katie's. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Known as the Queen of Gospel, Mahalia Jackson, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Give me the answer to that. I got $50 for you, 50 big bucks. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. You got to like that. I'm glad someone finally answered the Lucille Bridges. That's Ruby Bridges' mother, the real mover and shaker that gets zero recognition. Her daughter, a 6-year-old that had no idea what was going on. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ruby Bridges. She's a civil rights pioneer at age 6 and has continued doing it throughout her adult life. Chose that and born into it, whatever. And I'm not taking anything away from Ruby Bridges. But Lucille Bridges, 26 years old at the time, letting her 6-year-old daughter integrate that school, William Franz Elementary. That's just courageous, heroic, risk taker. Lucille Bridges, how there's not a Lucille Bridges Parkway or street or school, Lucille and Ruby Bridges Parkway. I mean, Lucille deserves one on her own. Make the main thoroughfare, Lucille Bridges and one that intersects Ruby Bridges. I don't know. Well, you don't want to do that. It's corner of Bridges and Bridges. That's all we need. It's like that Walgreens on the corner of South Carrollton and South Claiborne. How can it be on two Souths on the corner? How can that be? How can those streets intersect yet totally parallel each other later? It's impossible. Not in New Orleans. New Orleans. Hey, man, I need to go to the West Bank. The West Bank? That's due south of the city. Literally. There's no arguing that. The West Bank of New Orleans is due south of the city. And to go to the West Bank of New Orleans, you go due east. I mean, no question about it. You're not going west on the Crescent City connection. You are going 100% east on the Crescent City connection to go to the West Bank, which is due south of the city. That's only in New Orleans. That's only in New Orleans. Can't make that up. And yeah, how do you go from the West Bank back to the East Bank? How do you go from the West Bank back to the East Bank? Of course, you go due west and north. And you end up north of where you were. Wow. Anyway, only in New Orleans. I think it's pronounced New Orleans. I think it's silent, the lean part. New Orleans. It started with the new or the lean, and they couldn't decide. New Orleans. What are we going to call it? New City or Lean City? New Orleans. And then they just said, we just keep calling it New Orleans. And I don't know how the S got on. I think like French quarters, shrimps po' boy, how we like pluraling stuff. I think someone plural the New Orleans. And the new is spelled N-E-U, by the way. N-E-U. Orleans, double E. Double E. New Orleans. Oh, boy. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. The mayor's CAO, the Mr. Spock to Captain Kirk to the Destroyer, saying she started to pay back any upgrades using her own dollar amounts. What does that mean? I'll fill you in on that wacky quote next.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro. For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris
The
Road.
lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, Super discount store in Chalmette.
Oh, boy. Gotta laugh at that one. Corey Johnson with you. Jason's at the controls. We often talk and laugh during breaks, during the commercial breaks. It is a wide open Wednesday. Thanks for finding us. Thanks for joining us on the program via the radio, television, internet device. We're on YouTube, CoreyTalks.com on YouTube. Check us out. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. New Orleans is the music capital of the world. Known as the Queen of Gospel, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. No internet device, no search engines. Hey, how did Mahalia Jackson, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson, influence Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech? How did she greatly influence that speech? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours. 4 area locations, a 5th Mandeville, coming online soon. The mayor's office, the CAO, Gilbert Montano, says the mayor, there's a plan being worked out on paying back the upgraded flights, the $29,000. First off, I think the mayor's only going to pay that if it's someone donating it, pulling a Walter Reed, John Ilario, using campaign funds for personal use, something like that. It's not coming out of the mayor's wallet. There's no way. Impossible. But this quote from Gilbert Montano is just strange. She has started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. So that makes you think, okay, the Amsterdam trip, the 2-day Amsterdam trip where the mayor flew first class, the one I was like, who's the unknown gentleman sitting next to the mayor? Maybe it's a nobody. Maybe that person's with the mayor. Did the city pay for that or not? Want to know that. But it's that trip, the Amsterdam trip. So she paid for the upgrade to first class on that because she flew first class on that. Because the quote sounds that way. She has started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. I don't like with her own dollar amounts. She started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own money. Pay for it herself with her own dollar amounts. Hey, y'all, you call it $100 bill. I call it a penny. I mean, what's her dollar amounts? Her dollar amounts? Y'all said it was $29,000 in upgrades. I think it's about $400 in upgrades. I just wrote a check for that. It's still money, y'all. Come on. I mean, dang. You just can't. I don't like the dollar amounts thing. I'm going to give Gilbert Montano the benefit of the doubt that, Corey, no, it does not mean worst case scenario, gloom and doom like you're saying. Y'all call it 100, I call it a penny. The mayor started to pay for any upgrades thereafter, like the 2-day Amsterdam first class tickets. She paid for the upgrades herself. If that's true, then the mayor's already found donations or her campaign funds, pulling a Walter Reed, John Ilario, using campaign funds for personal use. That's already started because the mayor's not flying first class and paying for it herself. There's no way, no how, LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell. I mean, the first class flight to the French Riviera, $18,600. That's 10% of her annual salary. That's 10% of her annual salary. There's no way, no how the mayor's going to continue that type of torrid pace of junkets flying first class and paying for it herself out of her own wallet. Impossible. No way. A woman was pulled from her little small SUV in Algiers, a carjacking earlier today. It's on my Twitter, at Corey Johnson. I just pulled you can check it out, 46826. It's on all their websites. NOLA.com. I'm sure it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Brazen. No, the other day, a witness watched someone trying to break into a car, ran after him with a gun. The criminal ran off, and the witness, not the owner of the vehicle, unloaded his gun on him and caught the criminal in the leg. The criminal got arrested. The witness who shot the criminal is at large. The police want to find that vigilante-style justice, that death wish Charles Bronson type person. Yeah, we can't have that. Stray bullet kills a civilian. That type of stuff. When it ends good, everybody's for it, but it doesn't always end good. You can't have vigilante justice. But boy, the carjackers are brazen, and people in a car with a gun having a shootout with a carjacker, that's inevitable too. This is ironical. Ron Smith, a Florida lawyer who successfully battled Florida's helmet laws, died in a motorcycle wreck while not wearing a helmet. His girlfriend died as well while not wearing a helmet. The cause of death? Head trauma. Helmet could have saved both their lives. Ron Smith's whole argument, which he proved in court, at least in front of that jury or judge, it's me, it's my choice. I don't like being told what to do. It's a motorcycle telling me if I got to wear boots or helmet or whatever. There's seatbelt laws. There's reason for the seatbelt laws. It's not just seatbelts save lives. That's the nice thing. That's the say no to drugs, Nancy Reagan reason. The real reason's money. It's hospitals, it's costs to repair people that die, insurance, it's all of that. We're a humane country. Someone could walk across the border, get dropped in from a hot air balloon. We have no idea who they are. John Doe, from America, not from America. Born and raised here, billionaire, but we don't even know who they are or if they're rich. Born and raised here, zero money, bum on the street, foreigner. They get hurt. They get knocked out unconscious. We find them alive on the street. We fix them. We rehab them. We get them back on their feet. Then we figure out who they are and who's paying for it and all that. And if we're going to get paid, I'm talking America. So we're a humane country. You got to throw all that into the equation beside Ron Smith's, man, it's my motorcycle, my choice. I don't want to ride with a helmet. No, we're going to fix you if you get in a wreck. When you get in a wreck and there's blunt trauma to your head and you're a vegetable or slowly but surely coming back out of it and you need continuous medical attention for the rest of your life, or worse, you die, it costs money. All of that costs money. Insurance claims, medical costs, all gets passed on. So, yeah, in America, there's capitalism. There's, and not any vehicle can go anywhere. And, I'll tell you something right now that I think's crazy. It is inevitable. I don't wish this to happen. I just know it's gonna. It's sad, really. It's going to be tragic. It's going to be children and grandma and women. It's going to be on Highway 30A. You see those little blue 30A stickers? This golf cart law down there where you can just ride around on a golf cart. And a lot of them are souped up and do like 20 or 30, and there's no seat belts. There's no dashboard or windshield or doors or any of that. It's a golf cart. When that thing's doing 5 miles an hour and you run into something like a steel pole or tree that doesn't move, you're getting hurt at 5 miles an hour, much less one that's doing 17 or 25. And somebody's going to be driving a van or a car or a truck and run into that. People are going to die. And then the 30A golf cart thing's going to change. They're going to change the law. No, the motorcycle helmet thing's, no pun intended, is a no-brainer. A no-brainer. Corey Johnson with you. Andy Dalton to start Sunday. Saints taking on the Raiders in the Dome. Andy Dalton to start. No, I'd keep going with Andy Dalton too. Andy Dalton's steady right now and playing pretty good football. And you're like, Corey, did you see the game in the pick sixes? One of them wasn't his fault. One was. The other interception was his fault. Saints, the games they've won, Andy Dalton's part of the reason. And Andy Dalton isn't part of the problem. Andy Dalton is a veteran that's been around a long time. What he does can be fixed quickly. TV audience, mañana. No, Andy Dalton is starting. Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, I've said this all along, are basically the same thing. To me, they're like, in the NFL, 17th to like 22 in quarterbacks. Right now, both of them. There are at least 10 teams that have lesser quarterbacks starting than Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. No doubt. Some of them just blatantly stuck. They'd take Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston right now and start them. Some are like, yeah, we agree with you. Today, Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton's better. But we got this rookie or this second-year guy that we're trying to see if we can develop him into an NFL quarterback, and then we've got a guy for 10 years. I have no problem with Andy Dalton starting. I think that's the right call. Jameis Winston was struggling. Jameis Winston was hurt. I think Jameis Winston's back and some of his injuries are for the whole season. More time sitting out and Andy Dalton getting the job done, not part of the problem, part of the solution. You ride the Andy Dalton train. Andy Dalton goes out there and just has a terrible game and is screwing up and he's part of the problem. You yank him, you put Jameis Winston and you hope Jameis Winston wins. And maybe you start Jameis Winston the next week and you ride the Jameis Winston train. They're frick and frack. They're the same level of quarterback. Different talent, skills, different age, different everything. We could break them down. Don't want to do it. That's for a sports talk show. But they're basically starting NFL quarterbacks, both of them, that are decent and have the potential to be pretty good. Either one could have really good games for the Saints, help lead the Saints to a win. This gloom and doom around the Saints, 2-5 sucks. A lot of double bogeys to start the round, but you can get a birdie and rip off some pars and still put a good score on the card. There's a lot of holes left. There's a lot of games left. The next three are all winnable. Saints could go 3-0 and be 5-5. Saints could lose the next three. There's no team the Saints really have lost to that you're like, that team is clearly better than the Saints. The Saints have, it's all self-inflicted wounds. The Saints have beaten themselves. Saints could have 2 or 3 more wins on this season easily. So just, winning and losing, it's a tight margin. I still believe in Dennis Allen and that coaching staff. I think Saints fans need to chill a little bit. And I don't know, this, I guess, is why I got out of sports talk. The Dalton thing it makes total sense. But I guess that's a great argument for Saints fans who should be starting a quarterback or they have no quarterback or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll leave that to you sports talk junkies. Hey, I was at Young's Dry Cleaning's main facility visiting with Dale over there at Franklin and Fillmore in Gentilly. That's where they do a lot of their restoration work. I often talk about their dry cleaning, walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, the manless locker locations. Find all of that at youngsdrycleaning.com. But at Franklin and Fillmore, that's where they clean rugs and runners, Oriental, Persian rugs, expensive antique stuff, drapes, fine linens. Folks that may have had some type of accident at their house, water, mold, mildew, smoke damage. You'll be surprised what Young's restoration department can do with things that are made of fabric, material, cloth. Find out more, youngsdrycleaning.com, youngsdrycleaning.com. Boy, the Pelicans, Willie Green just stepping up. The Pels are 3-1. They beat Dallas. Luka Doncic had a good game, and they beat the Mavs last night. With 3 starters out, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and all-star Brandon Ingram. 3 of your major starters, 50 points a game with Ingram and Zion alone. Ingram's 28 a game, Zion's 22. 50 points gone. How do you beat Dallas? Well, you edge them by a point. I think it was 1 point or 2 points. And Trey Murphy goes 8 for 8. And you use 90% of your bench, all backup players essentially, and 8 of those backup players score in double figures. 8 players in double figures, not all backups, like 6 of 8, 7 of 8 are backups, reserves, 7 of 8. Double figures, 8 Pelican players, 3 starters out, get double figures. I mean, play great defense, Willie Green coaching. Yeah, beating the Dallas Mavericks. Amazing win. Amazing. Next up, Friday at Phoenix in the desert. It's a 3-game road trip. I think it's Phoenix and then LA, Lakers and Clippers, and then back home. Corey Johnson with you. Amazing what hiring the right coach can do, like Willie Green with the Pelicans. How about the LSU women's basketball team? From nowhere to top 15, just quickly and overnight. USA Today coaches women's preseason poll. South Carolina's 1, Tennessee 4, UConn 6, LSU's 14th. Kim Mulkey's old team, Baylor's 17th. Already has LSU top 15. Doesn't even have in like her full cycle of recruiting. Another year or 2 of recruiting, and LSU's probably going to be a year in, year out top 5 team. I'm Dawn Staley, and I'm South Carolina. I wouldn't be worried as much about Tennessee or UConn as much as LSU. That's the target. Dawn Staley in South Carolina. That's what Kim Mulkey is targeting. And like Dawn Staley, Kim Mulkey is a ferocious, tenacious competitor. Pretty amazing what the right coach can do. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. She was known as the Queen of Gospel. Wendell got the answer. Mahalia Jackson. New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. She'd be 111 today. Born in 1911. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? Which New Orleans neighborhood? No internet device, no search engines. You either know the answer in your head or you don't. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa for you. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? That's right. You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa for you. The way to participate in the program and answer that question, pick up the old cellular device, the landline. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Area code 504-766-9480. Hey, how did Mahalia Jackson influence Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech? How did New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson influence that incredible speech? Major influence on it. You have the answer to either one of those questions. I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, tomorrow, District Attorney Jason Williams will join us on the program. The mayor's CAO, Gilbert Montano, says the mayor's office plans are in the works, being worked out on a payment plan to pay back that $29,000 in flight upgrades. And Montano added, quote, she started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. Now, that sounds like the Amsterdam trip, that 2-day trip where the mayor flew first class. The tickets were all, the pictures were all over Twitter. There was an unknown gentleman sitting right next to the mayor. Maybe just someone sitting next to the mayor. They seemed like they were together. I don't know if it was the mayor's husband, if it was the mayor's brother, security guard, City of New Orleans employee. I have no idea. Just like to know who it was sitting first class with the mayor. Was that person with the mayor? Who paid for that ticket? And did the mayor claim that's a city employee or security or something like that? And it's like a brother or friend taking a free trip. Now, when I say free trip, if the mayor's CAO is saying the mayor's paying this back, I've got to think the mayor has, for the last few weeks, scrambled to figure out a way to pay this back that she thinks is legal. Some type of donation from someone, maybe money from her campaign fund, pulling a John Alario or Walter Reed, using campaign money for personal benefit, for personal expenses. It ain't coming out of her own purse, out of her own wallet. There's no way, no how. But the mayor continues to fly first class. She went to Amsterdam, a 2-day trip. That's insane. 2 days. The jet lag is just, who wants to do that for 2 days? Rich and wealthy don't do that. Unknown gentleman sitting next to her. I want to know, is that a city employee or not? I don't care to know who it is. Brother, husband, boyfriend, whatever. I don't care. I want to know, was the city paying for that ticket? And who is that? Or, Corey, it's just some John Doe from Cleveland. Has nothing to do with the city or mayor. Fine. That's all I want to know. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. I'm not even running anything right now. Last night, going to bed, I ran air conditioning. Middle of the night, I turned the system off. This morning, I'm not kidding you, I ran heat for a few hours. My AC runs great. I got a completely new system just a few short years ago from River Cities Total Maintenance. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. Air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. If you're having air conditioning or heating problems, these honest experts will come right now. River Cities Total Maintenance, 841-3300, 841-3300. Find them online at NOLAAC.com. That's NOLAAC.com. Every day, we broadcast live on radio, television, internet, YouTube from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our Top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years. We mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on.
Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Hey, y'all, it's Junket Cantrell. And I gotta tell you, the summer of 2022 and the travel I've experienced, well, it's memories of a lifetime. I mean, come on, y'all. I went to Switzerland. First class, $10,000 just for the flight. The French Riviera. Singapore. How about Singer-Rich? And next, I'm heading to Africa again. All on the city's dime. Yeah, you right. It's LaToya the Destroyer. Where will I go next? One thing's for sure, I won't be paying for it. Spending someone else's money is so much fun.
She danced. She moved. She shake. LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, Mayor, City of New Orleans.
Yeah, you right. The sounds of New Orleans. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Thanks for finding us. Thanks for joining us. Hey, tomorrow, District Attorney Jason Williams will join us on the show. That should be a good one. Every day, the program's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. You know about Ronnie Lamarck's place in Kenner. Everybody does. Brand new, state-of-the-art, over $50 million invested. The Lamarck Automotive Complex on the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner, brah. Right on the corner, right on the price. Home of the big store for nearly 50 years. Lamarck Ford, #1 Ford dealership in the region. Home of Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the region. Everybody knows about the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Do you know Ronnie Lamarck now has Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway out in Elmwood, Harahan? That's right. The Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, Harahan. Every day the program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park just does not slow down. Tomorrow, DA Jason Williams on the program. Talking about parks a few days ago in New Orleans, City Park, Audubon Park, and Lafayette. City Park, Audubon Park, urban parks. I'll put those up against any in America. They're fantastic. They're world-class. Suburban Park. Lafayette is pretty damn plush. Pretty nice. Lafayett's got lots of amenities. First class, I think, for suburban. And it's huge. Then I was talking about neighborhoods yesterday. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of awesome neighborhoods in New Orleans. today got into music because last week experts have been, music experts, kind of a consensus, not knocking the Mississippi Delta, major blues influence, but not the birthplace of blues. The birthplace of blues was New Orleans. Every major modern musical genre was either fully created in New Orleans or New Orleans had a major part, greatly influenced it. Every major musical genre, we're the music city of the world. She was known as the Queen of Gospel. That was one of our trivia questions today for a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Wendell got the answer correct. Mahalia Jackson, New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Which New Orleans neighborhood was Mahalia Jackson born and raised in? No intranet device, no search engines. You either know that answer or you don't. 766-9480. How did New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson greatly influence Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech? 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours if you've got the answer to either one of those trivia questions on New Orleans' own Mahalia Jackson's birthday. She'd be 111. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. The mayor's CAO, Gilbert Montano, says the mayor's office has got a plan being worked out to pay back all those upgrades, that money, the $29,000. And then he says, quote, she started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. So I hope that means, and I want to give Gilbert Montano the benefit of the doubt, I hope that simply means the mayor, like the Amsterdam trip, the 2-day Amsterdam trip where the mayor clearly flew first class. Did she pay for that upgrade fully? I didn't like with her own dollar amounts. It should just be, he should have just said she has started to pay back for any upgrades thereafter with her own money or herself, pay for it herself. But with her own dollar amounts, hey, y'all, you call it $100 bill, I call it a penny. You say $1,000, I say $20. I mean, I don't get her own dollar amount. I hope that really, I'm giving Gilbert Montano the benefit of the doubt. He really means the mayor's just paying back the money. And if he heard me right now, I'd be like, Corey, you're going to the most diabolical, lowest level possible. I did not mean that at all, that the mayor's going to say, it's her own dollar amount. Y'all say it's $29,000 in upgrades. I say it's $29 in upgrades. Anyway, the quote is she's started to pay for any upgrades thereafter with her own dollar amounts. 2-day Amsterdam trip, she flew first class. I hope she paid for the upgrades herself, like Montano is saying, and it was first class. The pictures are on social media. Sitting next to the mayor is some gentleman that looks like he's with the mayor. That cat paid for his own first class ticket. That cat looks like he's with the mayor, but has nothing to do with the mayor. I just want to know who that guy is. I don't care if personally who it is, the mayor's husband or boyfriend or brother or son. I don't care. She don't have a son. I just want to know, is that guy flying on the city's dime and why? Who is he? And if he's John Doe from Cleveland, Corey, he's not on that's fine. Just want to know. They look like they were together. And that was definitely first class to Amsterdam. So I hope the mayor used her own dollar amounts, and they were dollar for dollar amounts, and is repaying that upgrade as CAO, City of New Orleans. The mayor's number 2, Gilbert Montano, says. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Hey, Latrum's been with you since the late 40s, when J.M. LePere stepped on a shrimp with rubber boots on a dock, and the shrimp squirted out clean and the peeling stayed behind. He's like, wow. Usually I have to peel shrimp by hand. Let me go home and see if I could make something like that. He took his mom's old washing machine. You remember you had the washboard, and then you had those two black rubber wheels you'd wheel the clothes through to, I guess, rinse them out and flatten out, get all the water and soap out and re-rinse them and run them through those rubber wheels. He made adjustments on the rubber wheels and put a shrimp in there and cranked it through, and the shrimp stayed behind, or the peel did, and the shrimp squirted out. And he's like, boy, that's it. And that was the beginning. He invented the shrimp peeling machine. Then the conveyor belts would rot. So he's like, I need a better conveyor belt. He invented the all-plastic modular conveyor belt just to make the shrimp peeling machine better. And that became a bigger invention as far as, profitability worldwide. It's everywhere. Than the shrimp peeling machine. Shrimp peeling machine, still the industry standard. All plastic modular conveyor belt, still the industry standard. It really is a culture of innovation over at Latrim, and they are hiring. East Bankers, West Bankers, they're hiring at their Elmwood facility under the UEP Long Bridge. North Shore folks, they got you covered at their Hammond facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to their website, latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Corey Johnson with you. A wide open Wednesday. A West Bank woman pulled from her vehicle in Algiers, a carjacking at gunpoint. No, it makes sense that, a few days ago, late last week, that person breaking into the car, a witness saw him, had a gun, ran after him, chased the criminal, unloaded the gun on the criminal, a bunch of shots. One of them caught the criminal in the leg. Police arrested him. The witness, not the car owner, just someone there that happened to see the car break in. At large, the police want to find that vigilante. You can't have, death wish, Charles Bronson style vigilante justice, because stray bullets happen to hit, personal property, worse, personal people, kids. So can't have vigilante justice. I know when it works out well, it's like a good thing, but when it works out bad, you're not for it. No, America's tough. Just can't have it. It's pretty simple. Anyway, woman pulled from her vehicle in Algiers, a carjacking. No, I get how this witness shot the car, not carjacker, but the person that was going to break in a car. Hey, Ron Smith of Florida, a lawyer who successfully battled Florida's helmet laws for motorcycle riders, died in a motorcycle wreck while not wearing a helmet. His girlfriend died as well. Cause of death, head trauma. Helmet may have saved their lives. Ron Smith's argument just right out the gate, which won in Florida, sounds really great. Hey, my choice, personal freedom. I'm riding the motorcycle. I own it. I choose to not wear the helmet. But I don't know, just a poor argument on the other side. We live in America. It's a capitalistic society. First off, we're also a humane society. John Doe, an unknown human being. We don't know if he's from America, if he's rich or poor or from somewhere else. He bangs his head, is in a coma. We're going to do everything we can to fix him and then worry about costs later because we're humane. That's what we do. We'll fix anyone. I'm going to let you just bleed and die out. So there's that cost. So you're not wearing a helmet. You get in a wreck. We don't know who you are. We got to pay for it. Or even if we know who you are, those multiple wrecks, people not wearing a helmet, lead to multiple injuries, lead to huge hospital costs. Rehabbing someone could be for a year, could be for the rest of their life. There's more to it. And then it's a lot of money. And then, who says, what vehicle do you need protection or not? I mean, seatbelts in a car. Cars have a shell. Who says you can wear a helmet or not? Should you have protective gear on your arms? If it costs money to the consumer that doesn't ride, what's that, Blue Boy? That's why Ron Smith should have been wearing a helmet. You're right. And he died not wearing one. Fighting not wear one. He died not wearing one. Someone will twist that into a positive and he was heroic, fighting for that and dying for that cause, I guess. What's that? Blue Boy 93.9 FM New Orleans, legal ID. Thank you, buddy. What else? Thank Jason. Thank everybody watching and listening. Mañana.